Do you find that the little things that somebody's doing are starting to really bother you? You know, those things that you used to think were cute or quaint, or you just went, oh, well, that's who they are. But now, you know, you're about to be around them again and you're dreading it. Or you just keep pushing it away. The feeling that it creates inside of you. Usually this is someone that we're around a lot, or we have lots of tentacles with. A lot of energy tentacles. It's not usually, the thing I'm talking about, isn't usually somebody you don't know well and they're just walking by or whatever. These are your loved ones. Those little things that just rub you the wrong way. I think we all have them. I know I do. This is inner peace place. And what we're going to do here is discuss how can we deal with those types of feelings. Because again, it is the feeling that you're having. It obviously doesn't bother the other individual because they're doing it. It's all about you. We created this. And again, if a stranger were to do the exact same thing, isn't that funny that it probably wouldn't even bother you? But that's not where we are right now. And it also can affect the person that is very spiritual, like myself. You know, my loved ones do things and they would just stop that. We've already discussed this. It's all about me. Because this is a habit-based reactive behavior or reaction, it will take a focused, applied attention. In other words, you're going to have to work at it. We've allowed it to become the center energy. We gave it attention and it got bigger. It got more thought units attached to it. Before, we just let it roll off our back. Maybe take it as a compliment to the relationship. All these little things bother you now because there's not anything big. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to look at it from a more spiritual viewpoint. Their behavior or their speech, maybe something they say a lot, is just not acceptable today with who you are. That's another option. Now, when you have these feelings, remember somebody else sitting right beside you may hear or observe the same behavior and not think twice about it. So I guess that means that it truly is all about us. It wouldn't bother them. So why does it bother you? You know, I don't even think the why is important. It's just that you've decided, for whatever reason, that you no longer appreciate it. So what do? You expand. You get bigger. You take a deep breath and relax and get into a place that you can ask for help. That's the first thing. And once you are in that state, you can address the problem. You see, if you're in a normal earth plane, conflicting state, you can't shift this energy because it has a lot of power behind it. I know this from experience. And I'm getting really good at this, by the way. So this process works. I find very little things that just rub me the wrong way anymore. I used to be raw. I was rubbed all the time. So, you've gotten bigger, you've called in for help because you realize this problem isn't going to go away. That's why we're doing this work. Then take the issue in your mind's eye and put light into it. Light into the place of your body that it gets stuck. That's one place. And then light into the relationship part. So not necessarily into the other individual, but that tentacle that's attached to that part that drives you crazy. Put light into that tentacle. That's an energy flow spot, and it is stuck on you. Because in the past, putting up a wall or maybe going into a state of overlooking it, you know, it didn't work. So try this and see what you think. The power of this skill is where you put your attention. So as a rehearsal, put your attention in the light, where that spot is coming from the individual, that traveling spot, and where it lands in your body. That's a very powerful, powerful place. As you put up a wall, you're leaking some of your power away from you. It doesn't do anything to them. You're shielding yourself. Okay, I'm just not going to think about it. Well, it got bigger because you did that. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Let's figure out where it's bothering you. In your head, in your throat. Play with that and see. Be still and think about it. It's very serious work you're doing because obviously this really bothers you. It really does. Yes, it does. When you are in this state, you've taken your breath, you've connected with any guidance that you can receive at that moment. You're in a state of connection, but another word for that is a state of allowing. The state of allowing is my goal all day long. Allowing what is another way. Some people say it all different ways. I am the most powerful if I'm standing, crawling, sitting in a state of allowing. Now understand what allowing is. You're not being a pushover. And it's not that you're ignoring. And it isn't that you don't care. You've gotten beyond that in your size, in your attention units. You've gotten big. A state of allowing, you are in a magical state because you aren't using walls to protect yourself or to avoid or to not think about something. It's a free spot. It's a potential to see those feelings for what they really are. They're a creation of the earth plane. Allowing is a way to expose the truth behind anything. You can apply this to all sorts of things. But what it doesn't do, what allowing doesn't do, is reduce your relationship to your spiritual guidance. It enhances it because that is truth. This is not. Okay, so this is kind of heavy, isn't it? The fact that that is truth and this is not means that that doesn't really matter. The part of me that gets triggered when that occurs is real. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying you don't feel it. But it doesn't really matter enough to build walls up against, to practice avoidance behaviors, to think negative stuff. Shifting into a state of allowing lets that energy of that behavior flow through you without getting stuck on any of those spots. The tentacles, they just disappear for that moment. So again, what I do when I'm in a state of allowing, I can just be. And then when I forget, I scoop right back to my old self. So my current behavior is to stay in a state of allowing more and more and more of the time with focused attention. I'm choosing to do this. And by choosing to do this hours at a time, those little things don't pop into my awareness because I'm not there. I'm interacting, I'm showing love, I'm experiencing love energies, I'm experiencing growth and curiosity, but I'm not engaging in anything that is stressful. Yeah. Because the stressful energies are not coming from a state of allowing. So if you are hiding the fact that this is going on, that isn't going to help. You need to express yourself, obviously, with words in a loving manner, not accusatory, just a statement. There's something that just rubs me. Is there any way you and I could work this out? No emotion attached to it. Zero emotion attached to it. I've learned that too. Once you've done that, that's about the only thing you can do, other than if the other person agrees, that would be awesome. However, if they forget, then you need to have a plan. And you could bring that up right then. Say, oh, okay, great. I'm so glad you feel that way. If you forget, because you probably will, I would if it was me, is it okay if I remind you? That's one way to do this. Another way is that you can sit with that individual and say, I am having issue with a behavior that used to not bother me. Be totally flat out honest. Because you know good and well you're doing things that rub them the wrong way too. So you could say, I have no idea why this occurs. I know you have always done that, but now it's really starting to bother me. You know, I'm working on it. I'm giving it space. I am not putting my attention units on the fact that you do that. See, there you go, right there. They may bring up something that you do, and you're going to be blindsided. I didn't know that bothered you. You see, this could be an opportunity for relationship growth. Don't let it get into a fight. It's got to be at a time when you both are feeling safe and secure and calm. When it happens, because it'll happen again, it's getting bigger, taking that deep breath, expanding your light body, asking for assistance, and by doing that, you're stepping into that state of allowing. That is the magical, magical state. And it is your gift to the world. When you do this consistently, it allows flow around you and magnetizes that upward flow. You will still have hiccups with this skill because we're exposed, and some days we don't feel like being good. We want to be argumentative. But for the majority of your core flow, you'll be able to magnetize situations that your thought time can play with and make bigger, which brings in more joyful thoughts. Love and light to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.